Hello everyone, reading comprehension. Yes, this is a topic which is, is one of those topics which gives students a nightmare, but it should not be so, especially not for the Maharashtra CET examination. हाँ, जब हम, let's say we talk about a CAT examination or a GMAT or a GRE, IFT or ZAT examination, उसमें जो RCs आते हैं, the language is also a lot tougher. The sort of questions are also, a lot tougher. But when it comes to the Maharashtra MBA CET examination, RCs should actually be treated as your friend. Because आप कम टाइम में exactly I'm using the word कम टाइम में आप 4-5 क्वेश्चन के आंसर्स एक साथ टैकल कर सकते हो. You just have to read a passage for about 1.5 to 2 minutes and then you would be able to answer 4 or 5 questions that follow with good accuracy. So it should actually be something that you should not be afraid of. It should actually be something that you're well prepared for so that you can treat it as a strength in the examination, because the passages are readable and the questions are also more or less direct or very simple inference based, focusing on what is the author's central idea or what is the author's main point or which of these facts and figures have been mentioned or not mentioned in the passage. आपको थोड़े से direct questions आते हैं या simple inference questions आते हैं. बट स्टूडेंट्स वो थोड़ा सा लंबा सा पैसेज जब आता है वो देख के थोड़े से डर जाते हैं. छोटे पैसेजेस भी आ सकते हैं, लंबे पैसेजेस भी आ सकते हैं. दे कैन बी 1 पैसेज, दे कैन इवन बी 4 पैसेजेस. So first we are going to discuss the strategy, the technique, the common pitfalls that you should avoid, and then I'm going to if time permits I will take you through an RC passage. Okay, so let's get started guys. Yesterday I'm going to talk about reading comprehension. Now what should be your strategy to tackle this particular question type? You have to make sure that you're very thorough with the skim and scan strategy. See, because a passage is in front of you, not every single word of the passage is important, because not every single word of the passage is going to contribute to a question or going to be turned into a question. तो हर word important नहीं है, हर लाइन इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है. और जब हम आर्टिकल्स लिखते हैं या जब पैसेजेस लिखे जाते हैं, कई बार देयर आर रेपिटेशंस, कई बार देयर आर सब्सटैंशिएटिंग पॉइंट्स, सपोर्टिंग आइडियाज होते हैं, which you can just skim through, you can just scan through, or you can just ignore and just focus mainly on the main points or the main highlights. So your strategy should be skim and scan. Now a lot of students think that for these examinations like Maharashtra CET and CMAT and MAT etc., what they can do is they can see the questions first and then search for the answer in the passage, which is the reverse reading method. But no guys, you cannot or should not do the reverse reading method, because it is actually more time consuming and not that accurate at the same time. Yes, it is actually more time consuming, because 5 questions के लिए हर क्वेश्चन के हर ऑप्शन के लिए अगर आप बार बार पैसेज में जाएंगे, यू विल ट्राई एंड सर्च फॉर इट. कभी कोई आंसर एक एंड में दिया है, कभी कोई आंसर सेंटर ऑफ द पैसेज में दिया है, कभी कोई आंसर दूसरा एंड पे दिया है. यू विल एक्चुअली एंड अप वेस्टिंग मोर टाइम एंड एक्यूरेसी भी अच्छी नहीं होगी, क्योंकि व्हाट इफ आपने एक पैरा देख के अपना आंसर डिसाइड कर लिया, बट आपका आंसर एक्चुअली किसी दूसरे पैरा में छुपा हुआ है, which you didn't even read that well. So please make sure to avoid reverse reading. It is very important to skim and scan and paraphrase and summarize. Okay, that means after you read every para, because a very common complaint that students have is कि हमको पैसेज पढ़ने के बाद हम पैसेज भूल गए या हम पैरा भूल गए, हमको याद नहीं रहता कि फर्स्ट पैरा में क्या दिया है. दिस इज बिकॉज आप पैसेज को रट्टा मारने की कोशिश कर रहे हो. Right, you're trying to rote learn or you're trying to memorize the passage. You don't have to memorize the passage. All you have to do is, as a manager, a future manager, or as a, like someone who's going to get into these prestigious colleges, you're supposed to understand or infer the passage. अपने शब्दों में, after reading every para, if you just stop for like 30 seconds or 30 seconds भी छोड़ो, 5 seconds भी आप अगर सोचो कि ठीक है इस पैरा में ये बात की गई, ओके, सो दिस पैरा बेसिकली टॉक्स अबाउट द रीजंस फॉर दिस प्रॉब्लम, ठीक है, देन गो टू द नेक्स्ट पैरा. So make sure that you paraphrase, you start summarizing in your own words, figuring out what is the what is the purpose of each paragraph, what is each paragraph doing, rather than focusing on every minute detail, yeah, every minute point. Okay, the questions are direct and simple inference based questions. As I said, जो inference based questions है, they mainly deal with what is the central idea of the passage, which is the author's opinion, which of the following can be inferred from the passage, in a way सेम चीजें जो पैसेज में दिए गए हैं उनको दूसरे वर्ड्स में ऑप्शंस में दिया गया है. डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस, आपको सिनोनिम्स और एंटोनिम्स के भी क्वेश्चंस आ सकते हैं. वर्ड्स फ्रॉम द पैसेज कैन बी टेकन एंड यू कुड बी आस्क्ड कि ठीक है इस वर्ड का मीनिंग क्या है. तो क्वेश्चंस इजी है गाइस. वर्डिंग्स क्वेश्चंस के भी ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट नहीं है, ज्यादा टफ नहीं है. ऑप्शंस, पैराग्राफ काफी रीडेबल है. तो दिस, एज आई सेड, इट शुड बी समथिंग दैट यू अटेम्प्ट. Focus mainly on the author's opinion, and because you have to focus mainly on the main points or the author's opinion, those are generally given in the first para or the last para of the passage, or the first and the last lines of every para. So always focus on the first and the last line. This applies as a rule to all RC passages across examinations. Focus on the first and the last lines of every para and the first and the last paragraphs for main author's opinions. Okay. Right. Now the common pitfalls. One major pitfall is students are scared of it, so they decide to skip RCs altogether. Don't do that, guys, because अगर 4 RCs आए, 3 RCs आए, you're going to lose out on a lot of questions. And it's actually easy. तो वो hurdle को दिमाग से, वो kind of perception को दिमाग से आप हटाओ. That is important. Another error is if you're doing reverse reading, questions देख के आप answers ढूंढ रहे हो, वो मैंने आपको बता दिया क्यों, क्योंकि उसमें accuracy भी कम आएगी और time भी ज़्यादा लगेगा. रीडिंग क्वेश्चंस फर्स्ट, ये एक और स्ट्रैटेजी जो स्टूडेंट सोचते हैं कि ठीक है वी विल रीड द क्वेश्चंस फर्स्ट, देन वी विल ट्राई द पैसेज एंड देन वी विल अगेन कम बैक टू द क्वेश्चंस. इसमें सिर्फ आपका टाइम जाएगा और कुछ नहीं जाएगा. तो सिंपल चीज करो गाइस, पैसेज पहले रीड कर लो, स्किमिंग एंड स्कैनिंग, only focusing on the important points and then come to the questions. It's very important that you read the question stem carefully, exactly question बोल क्या रहा है. कभी तो students हड़बड़ी में they don't even read the full word. Okay, like for example, तो हड़बड़ी में they don't even read the full question. Like for example, is it which of the following can be inferred or which of the following cannot be inferred? Exactly दिया क्या है? They don't even read the questions carefully. And it's very important that you don't select the right answer. In fact, you eliminate the wrong ones and you will always be left with the right one. Okay, and whenever you're tackling words also, अगर कोई synonym antonym question है तो make sure करना कि वो भी आप passage के संदर्भ में या passage के context में उस word का क्या meaning है उस basis पे answer करना. And don't be worried, the passage is always in front of you. You can always refer to it in case you miss out something or you forget something. So you can always refer to it. Okay. And practice, guys, is very important for RCs, and your best source of practice for RCs should actually be PYQs. Yes, you should go through previous year questions when it comes to RCs. That's going to tell you the best level, like it's going to give you the best idea about the level of the RC, the type of questions. एंड अगर आपको पता है कि 4 RCs तक भी आ सकते हैं, तो जब आप प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हो ना, तब 1 RC या 2 RC मत प्रैक्टिस करना. लाइक ट्राई एंड प्रैक्टिस 4. इफ यू वांट टू रन अ 10K मैराथन रेस, आप दिन भर सिर्फ यू कांट जस्ट प्रैक्टिस रनिंग हाफ अ किलोमीटर और 1 किलोमीटर एंड एक्सपेक्ट टू रन 10K. No, you will have to, step up your practice also. So, आप 4 RCs practice करो तब, like you will not be fatigued in the examination, you will not be tired, you will still be willing to take on the questions. Okay, so let's talk more about it with the help of an example. But before that, guys, this is our Maharashtra CET weekly schedule. Please note this and make sure that you're present at these timings daily. And we also have marathon sessions coming up. This Saturday, the marathon session starts at 5 p.m. And on Sunday, the marathon session starts at 1. And it's going to be a marathon for all the 3 areas. Okay, so please make sure that you are present. Right. Okay, so come on, guys. Let's go through this. Okay, so I will take a passage and I will try and explain to you what exactly do I mean by skimming and scanning. See, every passage gives you a different scope for skimming and scanning. कुछ passages में आप skimming and scanning बहुत ज़्यादा कर सकते हो, कुछ passage में आप skimming and scanning थोड़ा सा कम कर सकते हो, but paraphrasing ज़्यादा कर सकते हो. So that's why I've chosen this particular passage. This is a PYQ. अगर आप पैसेज देखोगे तो आप थोड़ा सा घबरा जाओगे क्योंकि काफ़ी आपको डेंस लग रहा है, बट इट्स बिकॉज आई पुट इट ऑन द सेम स्लाइड एंड मोर और लेस आप देखोगे कि काफ़ी पॉइंट्स यहाँ पे रिपीटेड है which you should just be able to filter through. Okay, so I'm not going to have a look at the questions first. I'm directly going to jump to the passage. Okay, so if I were a student in the examination, how would I tackle this? passage. Let's start. Sarcasm is the lowest form of wit, but the highest form of intelligence. Wrote that connoisseur of wit, Oscar Wilde. Connoisseur basically means someone who is an expert in a particular field, an expert judge in a particular field. Whether sarcasm is a sign of intelligence or not, communication experts and marriage counselors alike typically advise us to stay away from this particular form of expression. So, जहाँ पर भी आपको important lines दिख रहे हैं ना, उसको थोड़ा सा note कर लो, या you can just highlight it. I mean, when you're practicing, you can highlight it. In the examination, you can just paraphrase it in your mind. The reason is simple. Sarcasm expresses the poisonous sting of contempt, hurting others and harming relationships. So, यहाँ पे sarcasm का negative aspect दिया है. Okay, so आप बोल सकते हो कि in a way कि उसके cons क्या है, उसके negative flip sides क्या है. अब हर चीज याद रखना शायद possible नहीं होगा. Just remember, okay, negatives like, okay, harming relationships or hurting others, expressing contempt. Contempt matlab like dislike or hatred. As a form of communication, sarcasm takes on the debt of conflict, and yet our research suggests there may also be some unexpected benefits from sarcasm. So this para has given us the negatives, and now it's talking about the benefits of sarcasm as well. Okay, what is the benefit? Greater creativity. The use of sarcasm in fact promotes creativity. ठीक है, same चीज वापस mentioned है. Instead of avoiding sarcasm, research suggests sarcasm used with care. तो यहाँ पे दिया है कि कुछ लोग say stay away from it, but now they are saying that no, used with care and in moderation can be effective. तो अगर आप carefully use करें, in moderation में use करें, it can actually be even effective or good. वापस creativity का mention हुआ है, तो this is an important word. Okay, there will be a question on it because it is repeated again and again. The most common form of verbal irony, sarcasm, is often used to humorously convey thinly veiled disapproval or scorn. Thinly veiled मतलब आप उसको डायरेक्टली नहीं बता रहे हो, उसको थोड़ा सा शुगर कोट करके, थोड़ा सा कवर करके. वेल मतलब कवर. सो यू आर एक्सप्रेसिंग योर डिसअप्रूवल बट इन अ कवर्ड मैनर, यू नो, इन एन इनडायरेक्ट मैनर. फिर थोड़ा सा एग्जाम्पल दिया, आप उसको स्किम कर सकते हो. Early research on sarcasm explored how people interpret statements and found that, okay, it makes the statement sound more critical, to be more condemning. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे बेसिकली दो चीजों की बात की है. sarcasm is used to express criticism, condemn, ये चीज, और उसके benefits भी होते हैं. बस इतना याद रख लो. बाकी आप चिंता मत करो कि भूल गए यार, नहीं याद है, हर एक वर्ड नहीं याद है. It's okay, the passage is always in front of you. कितना टाइम लगा इसको पढ़ने में? Hardly 30 to 40 seconds. Next para. Why might sarcasm enhance creativity? देखो, this point now, because it was repeated so many times, I told you that, you know, it is an important point because इस पे काफी repetition है, तो इस पे question आ सकता है. Why might sarcasm enhance creativity? Because the brain must think creatively. It may lead to clearer, more creative thinking. Same चीज वापस repeated है. It's okay. Let go. To either create or understand sarcasm, tone must overcome the contradiction between the literal and the actual meaning. तो लिटरल मीनिंग कुछ और है, एक्चुअल मीनिंग कुछ और होता है, और दोनों में कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन होता है. मतलब हम बोलते कुछ और है पर एक्चुअली वी मीन समथिंग एल्स, एंड टोन इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर. ओके, एब्स्ट्रैक्शन, वापस क्रिएटिव थिंकिंग. फिर एक एग्जाम्पल दिया गया है. ओके, एंड ठीक है, दैट इज बिकॉज दिस इज द लास्ट लाइन, वील जस्ट फोकस ऑन इट. Why don't we get Paul McCartney to sing, Barack Obama to give a benediction, and Amy Schumer to entertain people? Someone said this. He responded when his fiancée was basically discussing their upcoming wedding, and which might be quite expensive. So she had some ideas which might be quite expensive. So this guy, being, you know, sarcastic, he says, हाँ सबको बुला लो, you know, Paul McCartney को बुला लो, Barack Obama को बुला लो, you know, Amy Schumer को बुला लो. So he's just basically being you know, sarcastic. Literal meaning कुछ और है और actual meaning यहाँ पे कुछ और है. So there is a distinction between the surface level meaning and the actual meaning that was intended. तो आप बोलना क्या चाहते हो और actually बोलते क्या हो, उसमें फर्क आता है. So that's it. So I have paraphrased it. यहाँ पे skimming and scanning का scope थोड़ा सा कम था, but paraphrasing का scope काफी ज़्यादा था. So in your own words, just pick up some important words, and in your own words, just keep repeating in your head so that you don't forget. तो hardly आपको पूरा passage पढ़ने में, ये तो मैंने explanation के साथ, you know, इतना टाइम लगाया, वरना आपको hardly 1.5 minute लगेगा. And after that 1.5 minute of reading, you'll be able to answer so many questions. So the plus side, you know, 30 seconds per question आप कर पाओगे. Let's see. According to the passage, which of the following is most nearly the same in meaning as the word condemn? The word condemn basically means criticize. Actually, you can directly go with your answer as critical, but it's always good to check once in the passage. Condemning sounds more critical. Condemning, yes, यहाँ पे भी they've used it as to express disapproval, scorn, criticism. वैसे context में ही condemn का word use किया गया है. So answer option would be critical. Repress means to put down, lose, deem and convict is to blame someone. According to the passage, what does sarcasm require? Its intention is to cause hurt in the most profound manner. Profound means in the most obvious manner. No, it is not in the most obvious manner. In fact, in the passage, they've used the word thinly veiled disapproval. मतलब थोड़ा सा कवर करके, थोड़ा सा इनडायरेक्ट वे में बोलना कुछ और चाहते हो पर आप कह कुछ और देते हो. So it is not in the most profound manner. So A is definitely not going to be there in our answer option. Okay. And A नहीं है तो ये options हट जाएगा. C तो definitely दोनों बाकी के option में है. You don't even have to check it. Just check B. In order to understand it, one needs to be able to grasp the abstract context. Yes, यहाँ पे हमने highlight किया था abstraction. Okay, we need to grasp the abstract concept. Very good. So answer option यहाँ पे होगा only B and C. Next one. Which of the following is true according to the author of the passage? Words used in sarcasm are to be considered for their literal meaning. No, he has repeated it again and again, and even the last line says कि literal meaning और intended meaning अलग-अलग है. So that is why answer option cannot have A in it. Okay, it cannot have A in it. B है अब दोनों options में, बाकी के बचे में you don't have to check B, just check C. Tone of the voice is essential for conveying sarcasm. Yes, tone का यहाँ पे जिक्र है. We had also highlighted it. Tone must be considered. Okay, so what is your answer option? Your answer option is again B and C. हो गए, 3 questions हो गए. According to the passage, which of the following is not true? That's why read the question stem carefully. It says not true. One needs to exercise restraint while using sarcasm. Yes, दिया है कि exercise care and it should be done in moderation. तो थोड़ा सा care के साथ, थोड़ा सा control के साथ अगर आप use करो तो अच्छा होगा. So ये true है. So this cannot be there in our answer option because they're asking you which is not true. So A नहीं हो सकता. ओके, ए नहीं हो सकता. तो बचा या तो बी एंड सी या ओनली सी. मतलब दोनों में सी है. अगेन यू डोंट हैव टू चेक सी, यू जस्ट हैव टू चेक बी. sarcasm has a potential to hurt or damage relationships. Yes, यहाँ पे it can harm relationships. Okay, so what is the answer option? ये भी true है ना. तो ये भी ट्रू है तो दिस कैन नॉट क्वालिफाई एज नॉट ट्रू. सो आंसर ऑप्शन विल बी ओनली सी. ओके, व्हाट डिड द ऑथर्स, देखो क्वेश्चन आया ना क्योंकि लास्ट में था ये. What did the author's friend actually mean when he said the following? Why don't we get Paul McCartney and all that? So he is basically saying हाँ तुम्हारे आइडियाज इतने एक्सपेंसिव है और एक्सपेंसिव कर लो भाई, औरों को ले आओ. The idea his fiancée gave for the wedding was a good one and needed encouragement. No, he's being sarcastic and saying that no, your idea is not good. It's actually not feasible. They can be asked, of course not. Could be easily asked to be present at the wedding. He was friends with Paul McCartney. No. People standing his wedding would love to hear. No, he's just being sarcastic that look, your ideas are very expensive. So answer option will be other than those given as options. Okay, so I just wanted to show this to you, like how it can be done. Like if you're in the examination, in this time you will be able to answer 5 questions as quickly. If you feel कि आपका speed इतना quick नहीं है अभी तक, या आप खुद से करोगे तो और time लगेगा, that's because you've not put in enough practice. So again, I would suggest guys that please make sure to practice as many RCs as possible through PYQs. And this was just my trailer, not to explain this RC to you. It was just to tell you don't be scared of it. They are very readable. They are easy. Questions direct है, easy है. अगर inference based भी है तो बहुत simple inference based है. Basic सी चीज होती है. Concepts भी basic है. अगर आप Indian newspapers के editorials पढ़ते आए हो तो भी आप इनको solve कर सकते हो. In our upcoming marathon sessions and in our classes, we will solve more such RCs. So stay tuned guys, and yes, please make sure to attend the live classes. Okay, that is very important. As I said, ये महाराष्ट्र CET का वीकली शेड्यूल है जो मैंने आपको दिखा दिया है. And yes guys, you can also join the Maharashtra CET crash course which is just available for 1499, 1500 रुपए, जिसमें आपको 40+ लाइव क्लासेस, मॉक टेस्ट, नोट्स एंड प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चंस मिलते हैं. And yes, please make sure to ask your doubts and get them clarified in the sessions. चाहे वो YouTube भी है तो, and you know, अगर आप चाहते हो कि हम और टॉपिक्स पे वीडियोस लाए तो वो भी सजेशंस दो, because the exam is right there now. मतलब it's right in front of you. So guys, I hope this video has helped you to just show कि RCs are good, RCs are doable, RCs do not need to be, you do not need to be scared of them. We'll practice a lot more RCs, especially in our upcoming marathon sessions. So thank you everyone for watching. Yes, do press the like, share and subscribe button, and I will see you soon in our live sessions. Thank you everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.